Alrighty, guys, hold the phone. I know we just did a segment about, didn't Charlie Cox just say that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 was the final season? Yes, we did. And at the time, yes, it was, apparently, according to him. Even though, in the previous segment, we just talked about the fact that, okay, so maybe Charlie Cox wasn't saying final as in final. He was just saying it to mean final as in the last season. Turns out, that was probably right. So, a little awkward timing here because I record segments a little bit out of order as they're coming in. And so we talked about the Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We're going to keep that in just for the sake of continuity and for the sake of, just having things to talk about here this week. But it looks like we actually have clarification on what happens there. So when these segments come out, you're going to see probably the Charlie Cox one first and then followed immediately after by the Vincent D'Onofrio one because Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin, has basically confirmed my theory, my thought about what Charlie Cox was talking about. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who are unaware, if you're jumping into this as an individual segment or if you're jumping around segments here on the full podcast, because in the full podcast, it'll be a little bit interesting because we'll jump from Charlie Cox to Vincent D'Onofrio clarifying what he meant. Basically, Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, of course, was doing an interview at an expo, and he said, there's something we do that's cool with the suit in the final season. And everybody was like, wait a second, does that mean that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is the last season of Daredevil? Well, hold the phone, because in that segment, even before Vincent D'Onofrio made his clarifying comments, I was like, well, maybe he just means this past season, this last season. And sure enough, fans were like, hey, wait a second, what's going on? And they tagged Vincent D'Onofrio in some social media posts, I believe, which I think Vincent D'Onofrio is actually one of those people who does respond once in a while to social media posts. And so this is coming from a Deadline article that compiles all these quotes. And it says, when tagged by a fan asking for clarity, D'Onofrio responded on X, quote, good chance there will be a third season. He goes on to say, quote, it's just too early to tell, but it's very likely. He says, I believe Charlie meant the last season we actually shot, meaning the second season. Yet, he used the term final season, so it's a bit confusing, but Charlie and I have discussed, and we both agree there's a very good chance for a third season. So, does this completely negate everything we just talked about Charlie Cox? No. I mean, there is some weird chance that Charlie Cox actually knows something that Vincent D'Onofrio doesn't, and I know Vincent D'Onofrio just said they talked about it, but who knows, right? Maybe Charlie Cox lets slip that it is actually the final season. That being said, Occam's razor, right? The simplest explanation is often the correct one. It feels like Charlie Cox said final season. He meant final season as in this past season, or the last season that they shot. Vincent D'Onofrio comes out and says, no. Charlie Cox and I, we've talked about this, and while they haven't guaranteed a third season, while they have not promised a third season, while they have not announced it, I think that it is all but a certainty that a third season is coming because of all the things that we've heard before. Unless Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is a complete disaster and a bomb, which I just find really hard to believe at this point. But again, it's possible. Then I think that the promise that, was it Brad Winterbaum, who's one of the heads of TV at Marvel, made was that now they're going to be making TV shows like TV shows, seasons, right? Actual seasons of television instead of just doing one-off miniseries. And they wanted to make seasons of Daredevil every single year, or at least seasons of television shows every single year. That doesn't make any sense if they want to just cancel Daredevil Born Again just Daredevil Born Again after 2 seasons, right? So it stands to reason that of course you're going to have a third season of Daredevil Born Again season 2, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. I think the point is that there is some confusion. I think it's always important to note that when people ask these actors things, it's almost always not scripted what they're going to say. They have training, obviously, of what they can and can't say and whatnot, but sometimes they just say the wrong thing, they misspeak, they use the wrong word, and then fans flip out about it. We're doing segments about it because, sure, could Charlie Cox have meant this is the final season of Daredevil Born Again? Absolutely, and that's why we talked about it in the previous segment, but then Vincent D'Onofrio comes out and says, nope, that's probably not what the case is. We'll see. I would expect that once Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is starting to come out and people love it, which I'm presuming they will, then we'll get some announcement about Daredevil Born Again Season 3. So guys, what do you make of all this Daredevil Born Again Season 3? Is it happening? Is it not happening saga? Well, Vincent D'Onofrio seems to indicate that it is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below.